Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are looking at Pacific Green Technology's latest annual report, but don't expect smooth sailing because this one's a bit of a roller coaster filled with restatements and going concern warnings. So what's the big picture? Well, they develop battery energy storage systems and environmental technologies. It's all about clean energy, but let's see if their finances are as clean. And before we get started, if you appreciate straightforward insights from company reports, hit that subscribe button. We've got a Discord community too, link in the description below to join investors and experts in analysing company reports. First up, let's talk about why this report is even here. The company found some pretty big mistakes in their previous quarterly reports. Specifically, they goofed up on accounting for the acquisition, financing and disposal of a big project called Sheaf. Expenses were also presented incorrectly and gains from selling battery projects were misclassified. Because of this, those earlier reports can't be relied upon anymore. To make matters worse, management found two major weaknesses in their financial reporting systems. They didn't have enough US GAAP, specifically generally accepted accounting principle expertise to handle complex transactions, and their monitoring controls weren't good enough to catch errors in their quarterly and annual financial statements. All this led to those material misstatements that had to be fixed. Because of all these issues, the heads of the company realized their checks and balances on financial reporting weren't working properly, so their financial reports that were previously submitted should not be relied upon. Now moving to the financials and a big red flag. The analysts are concerned because there aren't enough confirmed sales for their Limestone Coast West project. That sale is a big part of our upcoming cash flow, so this is a concerning matter. And of course this all leads to the auditor having serious doubts about the company's ability to continue as a business. But it's not all bad news. Pacific Green Technologies still has a lot of projects in the works. BESS pipeline has risen to 2,000 megawatts, but don't get too excited just yet. The company is expanding its operations, especially in Australia, but this company has no operating history developing battery projects that can bring power or experience outside of Europe, so this might be a tough objective to meet. The company also deals with a lot of Chinese firms to get the resources and materials needed for the projects, which poses the geopolitical risks as this creates supply chain vulnerabilities. Scroll revenue CAV product scroll. Now let's dive into the numbers and see how they actually performed. Product revenue jumped by 4.2 million scrubber contract reviving. Scroll services revenue also saw a nice increase of $2.7 million, landing at $5.6 million. This was largely due to some battery-related deals and services contracts. Because of that postponed contract and better sales, the company flipped the script, making a total of $7 million. Here is the most interesting part of the filing because it is misleading. The company sold two energy parks, Richborough and Sheaf, each generating multi-million-dollar revenue. However, these are periodic, and we can't rely on them. And if we remember from before, our largest project might not even have a buyer. Adjusted EBITDA looks very nice with about $18.8 million. It's a lot better than last year's figures when the business lost about $9 million in revenue, which could lead to a more confident long-term expectation. They are also behind on their filing because they haven't prepared their quarterly report, so we are taking the board's word that all the information is correct. Even with those sales of the energy parks, the analyst writes there is substantial doubt in the business due to not securing funding arrangements. So the company is highly leveraged. All these factors lead to the conclusion of internal controls not being in place or are in the process of being made, which is never good and usually entails a higher risk. What this means is that they are expecting a possibility of fraud occurring. Regarding cybersecurity, the company is working to protect its operations, but they have only one IT member and are relying on many automated outsourced functions. Scroll common stock Kualu scroll. So recent, the price of the stock has been between $0.35 and $0.5, so this is a penny stock and could be speculative and shouldn't be invested in by most people unless they have a stomach for risk. Scroll backlog consideration, Cath Richboroughs. Additionally, they may not be able to have any profit if those projects get delayed. The company is putting in effort with cyber risks, but in my opinion are still taking a backseat when approaching cybersecurity. The company is committed to make the world a better place from the start to the end and is committed to green policies for not only other companies but also their own standards. A few non-recurring fees are costing a lot of money and a lot financial pain on the income of the business, such as Change in fair value of derivatives costing $8,304,000. Finally, the auditors believe that they haven't properly considered their asset sales properly and are counting variable consideration too easily. If I were to say the truth, this report looks a bit ugly. While Pacific Green Technologies doubled its revenues, that doesn't change. They are in a lot of trouble. With high reliance to China material, no income for some its projects, high debt, and doubt of the firm existing as a whole, the high executive pay is also questionable considering the auditors are still worried about revenue recognition. However, a few things could look potentially good for growth with new BESS expansion if management and the executive team get their act together. And I give this a void unless you want to touch this hot burning toaster. So what do you think about Pacific Green Technologies and this high risk, high reward business? Leave that in the comments below. If you appreciate getting straight actionable insights, help support the channel by hitting the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And remember to join our Discord community by clicking the link in the description. See you next time.